What's the deal, everybody? Welcome back to Savage Studios. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Smash that thumbs up if you want. Help the video get around, generate the views, and get it up to more people. Anyways, with all that being said, I dropped the video about WAC 100, and I wanted to work with Tres, or Southsiders in general. And I gave my opinion on it. You guys voiced your opinion in the comment section about it. It got me to thinking, why don't I drop a video actually discussing my outsider perspective while I was in the pen looking in? Because everybody's always been quick to say they don't politic, right? And when I say they, I mean, you know, obviously the Crips, the Bloods, and everybody else who's associated with that organization. I will say this. Do they politic? Absolutely yes. Is their politics similar to Sureño politics? Absolutely not. They don't politic like Sureños. They politic in a way and govern themselves in a way that works for them and keeps their ecosystem flowing in behind them walls. But to make such a blanket statement and say, oh, them fools don't even politic, then you really never really been anywhere. Because if you're talking level 1, level 2, yeah, of course, who really politics on those yards? You got the imitators and the ones who try to mimic the higher up yards. But, you know, for the most part, people on a level 1 and level 2 really ain't politicking much at all. Now, what I can say from looking on the outside, looking in, their politics have always been more structured and centered around gang culture, right? Whereas the Sureño politics took more of a turn, and even the Norteño politics started to take more of a turn for this mafia-like structure, this militant, this army-like structure, something that was bigger, something that was united, something that moved as one and was one big, well-oiled machine, right? Boom, boom, boom. Theirs was more so turf wars, power trips, you know, on gang things, right? Taking fades as opposed to riding kites and getting someone, you know, done in the dirty way behind their back. It was more so like, hey, look, Boop just rolled up. You got 10 fades. You owe 20 fades. You know, they're all in the back waiting for you. Do you got to run them all at once? Absolutely not. But you're going to have to run them fades. So there's things about other organizations and other groups in prison that are never going to be similar to the next. Now, it's no coincidence that the Sureños, who have linked up with, you know, obviously the Aryans and all the Peckerwoods and all that, their whole outlook on everything is going to be more of this, like, I guess, quote unquote clean, this quote unquote militant. Oh, you know, look down your nose. They're messy. They're dirty. They're loud. They're not. Okay, so knowing that that's how you see their program, of course you're never going to be able to get a favorable review regarding their program as to where you're getting it from your boy completely unbiased. Because let me tell you something, the structure that the Sureños have, the program that the Sureños have, the everything that they have, it works. It's unequivocal in the pen, right? It works in the pen. Now, what works out here on the streets is what's really the bigger picture and the bigger scheme of things. And if you're paying attention to how things are starting to go with gang culture, with every race and every group, you can see that everything is actually starting to gravitate towards, how convenient, the one structured group in there that people claim don't politic, that people claim aren't pushing a hard line politicking. Oh, they don't check paperwork. Oh, they don't. Listen, that's a lie. To sit there and say that the Crips, the Bloods, and all of them folks don't check paperwork, just because they don't have a certain systematic setup of the step-by-step process of intake, as if we're going to prison to be prisoners in another prison, they will smash, and they have smashed, and they've done it plenty more times than I could even count on fingers, toes, eyelashes, and everything. When they find somebody has that type of paperwork on black and white, maybe they ain't in everybody's business. Maybe that's not their intent. Maybe it's not like, hey, there's a new guy in the yard. Let me go see what his paperwork's about. Look, they doing their time. But, and there is some prisons where they is like that. Hey, run that 128G, run that paperwork. Let me see all that. I'm not saying that they don't do that, but for the most part, motherfuckers trying to do their own time. We all grown men. We're not here trying to check up on everyone's paperwork like I'm somebody's daddy. However, when they finally do see that black and white, I think it's absolutely ignorant to say that just because they don't run the same similar structure as this group, that they're just going to let that guy, that pervert, that nasty weirdo go unscathed and untouched. No. That ain't going to happen at all. See, they function in a realm called reality, right? So let's say Sureño politics is so strict and so fierce, and Norteño politics and the woods, and they all have this in common. For the most part, if you come in, let's say a dude who's 22 comes in. Now, let's say he just barely turned 18 4 months ago, and his girlfriend is still 17 years old. They get into an argument. They've been together all through high school, whatever. He just turned 18 a few months before she did. They get into an argument, whatever. Cops get called. Or let's say she gets jealous. Let's say she gets jealous. He's dating another girl or he's cheating on her. So she decides to say, hey, he raped me, or hey, we're not even supposed to be together. You could be in trouble, and gets him in trouble. So he goes now to jail, and he's Mexican or he's white. And he says, hey guys, listen, I'm not a weirdo. I'm not a creep. I've been with this girl since I was 14 years old. I just turned 18 a few months before she did. To anybody looking in, if you can vouch that story is like true and legitimate, right? Like, if, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's letters or pictures or whatever that this person can produce. Unfortunately, this person won't even have the chance to do that. It would only be their story. I don't care if they're on their knees crying to these guys. They're going to say, hey, look, it's all good. Don't worry about it. You're straight. You're good. We understand, kid. Don't stop crying. And then he's done. They're going to do him in the dirtiest fashion possible, just because of what the charge says. As to where Crips, Bloods, others, will be more understanding with the situation, because everybody knows this kind of shit happens in everyday, day-to-day life. False, frivolous cases and claims are put on good people, good folks, good homies, good woods, good everybody. And they just happen to have more of an understanding approach to the situation. Could it be, in fact, to them being done dirty and set up more often than other people? I don't know. But that's the one thing I've always liked, is that you could, if a cat went PC that was running with the blacks, and let's say for whatever reason he wants to go PC just to go in this yard, and then he wants to stop going PC to go to this yard, he can do that. And he's not going to have to land on this yard and explain himself to this whole group of people. The thing that I think is most misunderstood about the brothers, the whole card in general, is that you're a grown-ass man and you get to do what you want to do, for the most part. Like, you obviously can't go and just take off on a Mexican. You can't just go take off on a white and start a big old war. That's going to piss everyone off, just because now you're messing everyone's pockets up. People got business transactions going on. So you're going to have to run the fade a few times for that. But for the most part, you're a grown man, an individual, independent, capable of making whatever. If you want to go PC, go PC. And if you want to rescind your PC, that means take it back and go back GP. You could do that too and never have to explain yourself. You want to go suicide watch? You could do that too and never have to explain yourself. You want to try to pull a move, do this or do this? You could do whatever you want to do. And you know what? That's liberating. So before people are so quick to say, oh, they don't politic, like it's a bad thing. No. They will draw the line where it needs to be drawn. But if you think having to be in prison within prison and having to be accountable, and I can't do this and you can't do this and you can't be a man, you got wings here, let me clip them for you, and you got to explain yourself constantly. You want to go put this medical slip in that box? Well, you got to take a homie with you, and he got to be the shadow before you put that. He got to see, you know what I'm saying? If you're going to talk to a CO, you got to have a homie next to you. Let me tell you something. That's not politics. That's abuse. That is an overstretch and overreach and abuse of power over another man. Who we're all lions. Every man is meant to be a lion and be a king in his own right. You tell me, how could you possibly grow? How could your mind elevate to a certain level of growth and elevation as a man, being held down like that? And I think the brothers got it figured out. Let that man do what he want to do. Let him run his program how you want to run his program. Let him, what? I'm not checking. What? I don't care if he goes and drops off a medical slip, whatever. If he rolled it up, he rolled it up. That's not my business. You don't put your hands on me. You in my cell, you ain't got no funny paperwork. We good. It's just really that simple. You want to go to this yard and you want to go suicide to try to go and be with your homeboy on the other yard, do what you got to do. You see, I had to address this video because I feel like there is a big misconception after I made that video about Whack 100 and the whole situation. There's a very specific reason why he said what he said. A very solid, good, valid reason on why he said what he said. I don't care if it's archaic and outdated. Look, y'all, he's a brother, man. Like, Surenos is clicked up with whites who push. What do you think they push? Like, what is their symbols? I don't know if I could say it on here, but we know their symbols, right? We know what they push, right? We know at the numbers and the Aryan stuff. So how are y'all even gonna cop an attitude when Surenos is allied with that? So basically, we just as good as that. That's basically what we're pushing, the same stuff. So that's how you can't be mad at them. Norteños ain't never allied like that. Norteños ain't never was okay with somebody who was pushing that, because think about it. We allied with somebody who, technically speaking, don't like our existence. Not the shade of our, you know what I'm saying? Not the way we talk, not the language, not the cultura, none of that. So, like I said, and let me reaffirm this for you, I feel where Whack coming from. And I'm with it. I'm all the way with it, man. Until things can change, until maybe that alliance can be broken off. Come on now. How many Mexicans nowadays, how many homies that bang homie gangs say the N-word every day in their everyday life, but yet hit the pen and want to look down their nose and be like, oh, they dirty. Oh, they loud. Oh, they don't program. They don't politic. They let anybody. Then why talk like them? Because you're just a culture vulture at that point. I'm just saying. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't care if you guys come for me. You guys can do what you want. I don't care if anyone makes videos about me. Look, I'm a grown man. I'm not a woman. So I don't care. Don't tell me who made a video about me. That's another grown man. And he's making a video about another man. Let's be men. Okay? I'm here to make videos for you guys. That's all I really care about. I'll check the comments periodically. It's not a big thing, but this is the truth. Do the brothers politic inside of prison? Yes, they do. They govern themselves their own way. They have their own structures regarding the damus and keyways and all that, man. It's just, that's their world. So that's not your world. So just because it's not your world, that communist dictatorship, you can't say that they don't politic, because if that's the case, they wouldn't even be around. If they had no structure nor organization, the B's and the C's would have been gone long time ago. But obviously they know when to draw the line and where to draw the line. Just because they're not all anal about every little detail and trying to have a next grown man explain himself like a little girl, I mean, you can't say they don't politic, man. I hope y'all like this video. Smash that thumbs up and subscribe. Let's go.